Hello, everybody. Yeah. So yeah, I had a bit. How's it all going today, yo? I had a bit of free time on my hands. I have a bit of free time on my hands, so tonight, so I decided to debut early. Look at me go. Eh. So yeah, I have this model, and I'm using my PNG model for the big for what we're gonna do today. Hey. So, basically, if I get when my official live 2D model, my real actual model gets there, I'm planning on doing a re-debut. Basically, yeah, still working at the kinks. We're still rigging it all. Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, yep. Even uh, and yeah. Yeah, decided that now that I have a bit of free time on my hands, I decided to debut early. Introduce my introduce yeah. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? How y'all doing tonight? Y'all just chilling out, doing shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, we're gonna start this. I'd like to introduce y'all to my arch nemesis. My arch nemesis. Yes, I have an arch nemesis, and his name is Jordie Jordan. No. Who you'll get to see here soon. Jordie Jordan. Okay, here he is. Here he is. Here we go. Okay, my arch nemesis, Jordie Jordan. Hey, we. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Okay, this is. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah. So yeah. God damn it. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm not used to this, but okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. Hold up. Anyway, yeah. Oh shit. God damn it. So yeah, Jordan. Hold on. I'm sorry about that. Okay, this is. Here's an article. We're gonna read this right now. Don't believe everything you read about the man in this photo. A picture of Jordie. My arch nemesis right there. All he does is say, hey, give me money, give me money, give me money. All it does is take and does not give. That's basically him. That's basically him right there. That's basically him right there. Oh man, that's basically him right there. All he does is not. This is basically him. It's all him, and not there. Yeah, he sucks as a person. The picture of Jordan, an online gamer, has been attached to a fake name and numerous bogus reports of his death. To give some insight, the dude's been trolled a shit ton because he's a lol cow because he's basically a piece of shit. He's a human equivalent of a piece of shit. And yeah, he's fucked up. Dude's fucked up. But we're gonna watch a couple videos. That's what we're gonna do all day. Okay. Here he is in the flesh. They just take a picture I put up on the internet. And they put me into everything. What the? Jordan said. Again, he sits on his ass every day. He streams on YouTube. You should have seen. He sits on his ass every day, drinks beer, doesn't give a shit about his audience, and basically, yeah, basically doesn't care about him. Doesn't care about his audience at all. He doesn't really care about his audience at all. And it sucks for him because he doesn't give a shit. You always gotta know. Yeah. And the outpouring of grief immediately after the recent school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, posts appeared on Twitter and other social media platforms about a man named Bernie Gorse. A code. This is a code. Let me give you something. These trolls, they're actually a team of his henchmen, and of his henchmen, and basically, and Bernie Gore is actually a code name. It's actually a code name. It's actually a code name because Jordie, he basically doesn't give a shit about his audience. He wants publicity. All he wants is publicity, and he basically he basically, when I'm here, he is my prime target as a hitman. Yeah, of all my time, as a hitman. As a hitman. As a hitman. Of all my time as a hitman, I've known what this dude is up to. So yeah. He was a teacher at Robb Elementary School. Died sheltering his students from gunfire, the post said. Many of the posts included the picture of a grinning, bearded man in glasses. Some commenters piped up, saying that they've seen the face and that name before. On that point, they were right. Bernie, in the photograph that he's seen before on some Twitter accounts, that looked as if they were from news organizations, from CNN, Fox News, and the BBC. These corporations, they really believe, they were really just stupid to believe a man who actively aspired to work. Because who just sits on his ass every day? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. That's Jordie right there. That's Jordie Jordan, a.k.a. Bernie Gores, a.k.a. Richard, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Yeah. Yeah. On that point, they were BBC. One of those accounts said the man was a journalist executed in Kabul by the Taliban. The second one said he was an activist killed in Ukraine. Yeah, my buddy Krim from back over on Twitter. Hope she's still surviving. God bless her soul. I hope she's all right. Anyway, in Ukraine, by a mine planted by Russian-backed separatists. The third, he was murdered in last month's massacre. The third said he was murdered in last month's massacre at a grocery store in Buffalo. Jesus Christ. Of those inclined towards conspiracy theories, the conclusion was obvious. Bernie was a so-called crisis actor employed by the left that draws sympathy for causes like gun control. His repeated appearance used a prop up theory that major tragedies were hoaxes and that mainstream media was complicit. Well, let me tell you. Yeah. Did you know that Jordie, he was a drug lord. He's a drug lord. I probably shouldn't say drug lord. He's a crime lord. He's a fucking crime lord, man. If you've seen Spy X Family, yeah, Desmond. The dude Desmond. After this, I'll show you a bit of the opening before we get into the meat of this. Yeah. This is my briefing, basically my briefing. On all those points, the conspiracy theorists were wrong. There is no Bernie. He's not a crisis actor, and news organizations were not behind the points. And the photo? It is of a 36-year-old online gamer, Jordie Jordan, just sits on his ass every day, drinks beer, doesn't give a shit about his audience. He just wants to take money, because that's his main bread and butter, to fuel his syndicate, basically. He's alive and has nothing to do with the posts. Yeah, even I'm not stupid. Even I'm not that dumb. Instead, the posts were of a years-long harassment campaign against him taking place on online platforms like Twitter, Reddit, and Discord. This hold on, let me tell a buddy. Oh shit! Sorry, I had the mic off. So yeah, the harassment scene has started racist anti-joke at Mr. Jordan's expense. Um, we'll just get into the meat of this. Mr. Jordan, who streams himself playing video games on YouTube under the Wings of Redemption handle, has nearly 440,000 subscribers. He began playing Call of Duty for an online audience in 2008 after losing his job at a steel mill. It's called Met Class. Yeah, Met Class. or that he regularly appeared on a podcast where he attracted some criticism for his statements, including some homophobic and racial slurs and comments in support of lowering the age of consent. Yeah, this is how insane this dude is. This is how this is how fucked up his mindset is, basically. This is how fucked up his mindset is. And again, and I'm here to take him down. Yeah. Oh yeah. I apologize profusely for the error for my juvenile thought process and live with the ramification of that every day, he said, attributing the comments to his shock jock routine. And yeah, personal and the Birmingham meme, yada yada yada. Troubled by the campaign, especially. Yo, what up? Up, Frosty. We're gonna read this. We're reading this article for a bit. We're reading this article for a bit, and then we're get to the real meat. We're gonna watch a scene from a Spy X Family, Molly, doing what is called doing basically talking about what it's like to be a spy and a hitman, because that's what I am. My VTuber thing is a German Black Eagle hitman, Princeton hitman from another world. Yeah. And here is this. Seriously, he said Mr. Jordan said that he believed he had first become the target of serious trolling back in 2018. After he raised tens of thousands of dollars from followers to undergo weight loss surgery. Yeah, we're going to go into those lies soon. We're going to go into a lot of those lies. And then drag his feet before undergoing the procedure. Photos he posted from a hospital bed as proof that he completed the operation was later used in fake report of Bernie's death. Yeah. We're gonna. Again, he's saying some straight up bullshit. This is saying some straight up bullshit. Some straight up bullshit. Yeah. I'm here to track him down after I make myself a snack to have on stream. Hold up. I will be right back, y'all. Osh. What is up, everybody? I'm back. Osh. What is up, everybody? I'm back. I'm back. So yeah, hope y'all doing. And oh yeah, Frosty. If you ever seen this right now, I would like to challenge you to a fight. Would you like to accept? One of these days on stream. Alright. Well, anyway. Yeah. Here we go. We're showing you there right now. Get ready. So yeah. Oops. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. Issue with the sound.
くじけかけている。
どんないちいち。
何が？
実は私、護身術とか得意で。勉強やだ。
今日は連れて行かないからな。ほらそこ。
Yep, that's me.
持ってやつは何考えてるかわからん。
いらん情報抱くとろくなことにならんからな。
さらわれた。
許せません。
私なら殺し返しますけれど。子供が泣かない世界。それを作りたくて俺はスパイになったんだ。
あなたたち、とっても素敵な家族ね。父ものすごい嘘つき。でもかっこいい嘘つき。父と母イチャイチャ。
してない。
So yeah, this dude. Oh.
このせ。
Sorry about that. Anyway, so this dude, Desmond, it's all for the world of peace, fighting the world. Oh yeah. Okay, now let's get to the So a rookie at this VTubing. So still rookie at this thing. Hold on.
Jordie Jordan, better known as Wings of Redemption, is a 33-year-old live streamer whose YouTube origins predate even the most infamous content creators. Once one of the largest and fastest growing content creators out there, has since then crossed paths with the many other titans of YouTube. Though in most cases, these interactions would end poorly for him and his channel, as each interaction in its own way would act as a catalyst that would only serve to accelerate Jordie's downfall. As throughout his online career, he has seen a slew of controversies, from bursting out in rage during a live stream Call of Duty match all while insulting his co-host and threatening the life of his opponent, to more serious aggressions where he would threaten suicide along with threatening the lives of others. This can be attributed to a volatile mix of his ill temper and inconsideration for others, even with his dying channel by providing or suggesting different forms of content, but due to his lack of commitment would lead to further failures, and finally, as he moved on to live streaming, would get notoriety for the various outbursts he would have and would build a community of trolls that make up a large portion of his ever-decreasing viewer base. But even still, very few know of his origins, which is where we'll start. Born on April 21st, 1986 in Conway, South Carolina, Jordie Jordan's birth was a result of a teenage pregnancy, where due to his parents' adolescence, he would live with his grandparents in their trailer. And at the age of 2, Jordie's alcoholic father would abandon the family. 4 years later...
Now this is a story that he tells all the time. Blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. Yep, that is him. That is most definitely him.
Later, in 1992, Jordie would experience his first serious injury. While playing baseball with his younger brother, the bat slipped out of his brother's hand, hit Jordie's head, and cracked his skull. He would then be rushed to the hospital where they would perform surgery in order to reduce brain swelling. He would later make a full recovery, though it is unclear if this injury impaired his cognitive abilities. Regardless, he would remain an active child, as 1 year later in 1993, Jordie was 7 years old attending elementary school in the 3rd grade, where due to his fit physique, would excel in physical education, as he would always finish top of the class. That was until an athletic exchange student joined the school, which would leave Jordie finishing 2nd place in most events that in turn made him feel awful. As he recalls, this was a turning point in his life, where many more mistakes would ensue, as his solution to beating this exchange student was to increase his calorie intake, as he thought eating more would excel his growth and in turn make him the better athlete. So he would approach his grandmother for additional servings, and without questioning why, she would always provide the food.
And Jordie's road to becoming an ugly bastard who will threaten the lives of all.
He will then slowly start the transition from a thin, active child to an isolated, obese one. He would also develop a sort of bow-leggedness where his knees would remain far apart even when standing up, and as his school years progressed, he would be made fun of and struggle to make friends. So he would retreat into video games as he could no longer viably compete in sports. Jordie, his brother, and his mother would soon move into Section 8 housing, which is a low-income housing for those in need, also known as the projects. During this time, he would be given an identification card as many children were getting kidnapped in the area that he lived in. Fast forward to high school, Jordie was a 6-foot-tall, 240-pound troubled teenager and would be taken to a psychologist where he would be diagnosed with bipolar disorder and social phobia. Being that he suffered from these conditions, he was mostly kept to himself. That was until freshman year, where he would meet his first true friend, Kelly. He would then be introduced to Dungeons & Dragons and develop a small group of friends. It was also around this time where he would get his second serious injury, as one day after coming home from school, someone was trying to break into his mother's car. Jordie then shouted at the burglar, which startled him and caused him to flee. And while doing so, he would fire his gun at Jordie, striking him once in the leg, and again, he would make a full recovery. He would then begin working at a grocery store where his main tasks were to relabel products and clean the store shelves. Though because of the repetitive nature and the boredom that Jordie would have during this job, he would quit just 2 weeks after being hired. He would then find work at a video rental store known as the Movie Gallery, where his most memorable experience there would be an armed robbery by a trio of armed assailants. After this, and approaching the end of high school, he would work as a Domino's delivery driver where again, while delivering a pizza to an apartment complex in a low-income side of town, he would take the butt of a shotgun to his back, subsequently knocking him on the floor, where the assailants will pick his pockets and take $20 from him. He would also
before we continue on, the Spy Family's new OP was pretty kick-ass. Yes, I've watched a bit of the anime before, and I got volume 5. I've read volume 5 of the manga. Read at a local library. Borrowed it from a local library and read it. I was so invested in the anime, it was pretty good.
Be suspended from his job due to an altercation with the area supervisor. He would then graduate high school and look for work elsewhere, where he would then be hired as a 911 operator. but again, due to his poor work ethic, would leave this job after only 2 weeks of employment. His fifth and final job was one he took seriously. At around the age of 19, Jordie would begin employment at Met Glass Incorporated, a factory that specializes in producing...
Yep, that's Met Glass. That's where the bastard used to work. At least what he said.
an amorphous metal known as Met Glass, mainly in the form of quartz, and was funded through various contractors, the largest one being from China that used these quartz in assembling power line transformers.
Welcome to Exposure.
As at the time, China was redoing its electrical system. In the factory itself, Jordie would go through working in various positions, one of which was a crane operator, where he would be earning around $25 an hour, working 12-hour shifts 5 days a week, which adds up to $6,000 a month. He would stay at this job for an estimated 3 years, where the only thing that he would do outside of work was sleep, eat, and play video games. That was until the stock market crash of 2007. Now banks were more cautious to who they lent their money to, and being that most of the funding for Met Glass was done through loans taken out by these Chinese companies, meant that instead of ordering Met Glass in bulk, as they had 2 years worth of back orders, they would instead purchase significantly smaller amounts of the product until depleted, then order a small amount again. This would lead to employees averaging 3-hour workdays and have the company eventually laying off the majority of their workforce, which included Jordie. Though for most, this was a temporary layoff, as they stated that they will call these employees back if production had picked up again, leaving Jordie once again unemployed. But this time, he'll qualify for unemployment, meaning that he will get paid a fraction of what he used to make to sustain him while he looked for another job. Which, through this, his friend Z7 Taylor would introduce him to YouTube, as he would help with the production of videos and try to figure out the best way to upload videos to the site. The content of these videos being from one of his favorite games at the time, Call of Duty World at War. Both Jordie and Taylor had purchased a Dazzle capture card, but only Taylor would upload videos on his channel with the footage obtained by it. Jordie would instead go an alternate route and spend $200 for a hot-paged HD PVR that would allow him to record in high definition. And after seeing the attention Taylor had gotten and reading his viewers' comments, he then decided to begin uploading videos of his own. And on October 1st, 2009, Jordie's first video would be uploaded under his channel name, Wings of Redemption. The name is inspired by the encryption on King Tut's tomb that reads, quote, "Death shall come on swift wings to whoever disturbs the peace of the Pharaoh." Unquote. Swift Wings of Redemption, as described by Jordie, is the antithesis of this, as he explains, just as death comes fast, so can redemption, and that you can change your life around at any given time, which is possibly how he saw his channel. It wasn't until his third video, 23 days after the release of his first video, that he would start adding commentary over his videos.
Hello. Hi again, this is my first commentary, and here we go.
From here, he'll begin uploading consistently, and being that there were a minuscule amount of gameplay videos on YouTube and even fewer commentators meant that Wings' video easily stood out from the rest, especially for those that had the bandwidth to view them in the higher resolution that he offered, as within a month, he had accumulated over 1,000 subscribers. He also got another break as a fairly large commentator known as Hutch Is Yo Daddy would give a shout out to Taylor's channel, boosting his subscriber count from 4,000 to 10,000, and with Jordie's association with Taylor, he would quadruple his sub count. All this happening in less than a month's time. Though Wings' channel would see a healthy growth and positive community feedback, it wouldn't take long for him to stumble upon his first controversy where in a now deleted video, he would denounce Hutch's Yo Daddy's tactic of quick scoping with sniper rifles in-game, as he would point out the impossibility of such a technique working in a real-life scenario and that it wasn't realistic nor how the game should be played. But viewers would be quick to defend Hutch and point out several flaws in Wings' own techniques, such as how in a good portion of his videos, he would camp or stay in one spot while aiming down his sights, so when an enemy approached him, he would have an overwhelming advantage towards the opposing player. Wings and Hutch would also have a debate about this, each defending their playstyle, where Hutch would state that Wings was undeserving of the hate he was getting, though this would do little to suppress the slow-growing hatred for Wings. Regardless, his channel would continue to grow exponentially, catching the eyes of Machinima, an exclusive network partnered with YouTube that allowed content creators to earn a revenue from their videos. 4 months later, Wings of Redemption had accumulated 48,000 subscribers and would begin to diversify his content by including videos of other games or random vlog or review. He had also collaborated with various different content creators within the Call of Duty community, most notably FPS Kyle, later known as FPS Russia, and Woody's gamertag. And one day when talking on Skype, they would decide their conversations would be fitting for a podcast, as there were many lingering podcasts mostly focusing on Call of Duty and gameplay. But their approach to a podcast would be slightly different than the rest, as they would transition from doing pre-recorded shows to later streaming it on Justin TV.
Wings, Woody, and Kyle. The PKA. Yep.
TV, later known as Twitch TV. They also wouldn't limit themselves to gaming and would conversate about any given topic, generally with a special guest star, usually another content creator, to spice things up. This podcast would give insight to the personal ongoings of each of the hosts' lives, such as Wings' arsenal.
I have 46 weapons, and some of them are fully automatic.
Well, mine are to shoot the cats that come in the backyard, but I didn't really want to.
Mine are too.
I don't actually hit any of them.
This podcast would also uncover the depths of Wings' ill temper.
That was my rage story. But Wings, you're clearly going to win this.
18 PS3 controllers, 3 Xbox controllers, 2 TVs, 1 keyboard, 1 handgun.
Oh, God, you broke his handgun?
Insane.
Yeah. But I live in a double wide trailer, and basically what we did was we cemented the foundation and put the footers into the cement and then bricked under the house and made brick porches. Well, I got mad, and I didn't want to, because this just happened after I busted a TV. I busted like a 32-inch HD TV. I just kicked my foot right through it. And so I grabbed this high point handgun, which I had at the time.
How infantile
and I took the clip out and I threw it.
The baby is.
And then went out on the porch and I just spiked the shit because I was still mad. And this just went in pieces. It warped the frame of the gun. All this.
He was well known at the time, mostly in the creator community, for becoming irate to the slightest provocation in video games, where he would usually blame any shortcomings on his team. And when playing privately with Wings, a poor performance could result with you being shouted at by him and then being deleted from his friends list. Something that he had done with all his PS3 friends that he obtained pre-YouTube. As for the ones he couldn't easily throw away, such as other content creators, he would instead abruptly leave the game and cut contact until he had calmed down. Few users would learn about this and try to befriend him, which would lead to a buildup of various videos, all with the same goal, but addressed in different ways. That being how he tries to discourage his viewers from messaging him, attempting to add him on their PlayStation friends list, and attempt to join his Call of Duty session in progress. These videos, of course, would have the opposite of its intended effect and possibly give more attention to the problem. This was not the only shortcoming he had with trying to connect with his community, as by August 5, 2010, he had blocked a total of 11,000 viewers from his channel, meaning they could not comment or view his videos. And to give some perspective on how large this number really was, he had about 90,000 subscribers at the time, meaning that 1/10 of his possible subscribers would belittle him in some way. It was also around this time that he would receive his first paycheck after 7 months of being partnered with Machinima, and a hefty one at that, which would lead him to turn down a job offering from his previous employer, Mechlas. Moving on to 2011, with his newfound wealth, he will begin making plans for a weight loss surgery, and within the podcast, there will be the first mention of a weight loss boot camp for Wings.
Wings, you know that, well, everybody knows that you've been considering, is it laparoscopic surgery? I have that wrong. Lap band surgery. Thank you. Lap band surgery.
What I'm doing right now is I'm on a low carb diet where I basically eat like a lot of eggs, chicken, and meat. But I'm going to the doctor.
Ooh, that tastes really good, honestly.
Saturday. His name's Dr. Norman, and he's here in Myrtle Beach. And I'm basically going to be given what you call a V12 shot. And what it is a shot they put into your stomach. It's a big old long needle. And it increases your metabolism. And there's a set of pills that go on there and just you kind of keep like perks you up and keeps your metabolism going, keeps your heart rate up to try to make your body a furnace full time to burn fat
Yeah, that's
faster.
what everybody needs.
I'll tell you what you need, Wings. You need a personal trainer. A
Gonna be
Russian
in a pill.
personal trainer.
Uh-oh. If only I knew a guy.
Yeah,
That's
F.X.
like-
Russian needs to be in it, and he needs to be like whipping you from behind. You need to be like running up hills with that bad boy.
All right, everybody. I'll be right back. All right, everybody. Let's continue on.
And 3 weeks later, a mention of a wilderness survival trip.
I heard someone wants to take a
Okay.
sleeping bag, a 22 rifle, and some flint to go survive out in the wilderness.
Magnesium. It's easier than flint.
Magnesium's the way to go.
At this time, things will be going pretty great for Wings, as in April this year, he will meet Shalene, his first serious girlfriend that he had met from the dating site Plenty of Fish, and will later have
Okay.
her and her 2 kids move out of her mom's house and into his modular trailer where Wings would support the entire family, as Wings had convinced Shalene to quit her job and find one closer to his trailer, but she never did. And a month after they met, he will be browsing one of his local stores when he came across a donation box where the funds would go towards affording a hyperbaric oxygen treatment for a high school
yeah.
student suffering with cerebral palsy. And as the donation box had very little money donated to it, Wings felt that with his status, he could change that, and would contact the coordinators of this charity and promise them that he could get $10,000 if he uploaded a video for this cause. So he did, leaving a link in the description of this video where viewers could donate money
wanna do
towards the
that.
charity. And within 3 weeks, $8,000 had been
You know, I
raised,
always
where Wings
like
would
to do
donate the
on
remaining
the fan-
$2,000 out of
I always
pocket.
do
This,
on
for the
the
most
fan
part,
art for-
would win over his fan
For
base.
any VTuber I do.
Best Western
Anyone I
Rewards
do.
gets you free nights fast and memories that last. With
And he would seek out further charitable events that he could participate in. Though this love for him would not last long. And that's because of Painkiller Already, episode 67. Episode 67 had
You
the
have a
highest
wife.
ranked Call of Duty Zombies player
By
at
the
the
way,
time, the Syndicate Project, on as a guest. At first, this podcast went like any other. They would open with strange yet comedic topics, but when it got to talking about Syndicate and its strategies in Call of Duty Zombies, an area that Wings had very little experience in, things got a bit heated, as Wings would begin to trivialize the zombie game mode and claim that the multiplayer game mode was superior due to there being players to compete against and not AI. He would also claim that he was a superior zombies player, even with his little experience in the game mode, and that he could easily compete with the Syndicate Project. But as the realization came in that they could easily set this up, he would attempt to stop it while keeping his pride intact by citing such a competition could last for hours, something not viable for a podcast.
Call of Duty 4, in my opinion, was the easiest to do well on.
it's like crushing my game that I love. Like, I could get beat down by really good players.
I personally myself, I am a very good player on the stick.
And you know what else? He's modest.
He's honest.
There's no reason to be humble. It's like, I know I'm a good player. My stats prove it.
See,
I'm
to
just
me,
gonna say this: you're talking to a guy who's probably 4 times the multiplayer than you
gotta
are.
say, Jordie should
And you and no matter. It doesn't matter. There's no difference.
I'll do
I
this.
bet you right now.
Player you are.
I bet you right now I could get on zombies and stay toe for toe with Tom and not even know the fucking map.
Let's stream.
You know why?
oh, let's do it.
Oh
baby.
yeah, there it
You know why?
is.
You know why I can do this? Because I use my brain. I think, well, where's my back at?
Oh yeah, let's show it.
I can.
That's why
I'm not about to go. I'm not about to get on the play 6 hours.
What? You are not going to play 6 hours anyway.
For as long as you can anyway.
And after a bit more debating to which was a superior game mode, they would settle for a duel and multiplayer instead, which was of course Wings' area of expertise, where he would select the map and the choice of weapons that was to be used. He would also have a warm-up round with another member of the podcast while Syndicate was setting up his Xbox, and once everything was set, the match would begin. With Wings scoring the first few kills, and it seemed things were going in his favor, until he started dying, several times in a row. This made things much more...
So, I'll let this cool down. So, I took a side job. I sold these magic cookies called Passion Patties. They were uncommonly good, way better than Keebler. But I used to sell them to streamers door to door, and yeah. I was hired by a woman named Inga Bittersweet to sell some magic cookies to Twitch streamers. A lot of them didn't know what they were because they were from all the way on the other side of the globe, basically. From let's say Austria. And they were so good you can't stop eating them. Yeah. I even took some home to give to a friend. Yeah. Yeah. I even sent a box to Jordie. Because we were not enemies, not friends, but we're what's called frenemies. Like Perry and Doof.
more difficult for Wings, as his strategy consisting of staying in one spot and camping would no longer work. Now, being that the game was timed, he had to leave his camping spot to aggressively rush Syndicate in hopes to tip the scale before the time ran out, though this had very little success. And with each additional death, Wings would get ever more furious, until the tension of his silence was interrupted by a loud thump.
You know, the commentator showdown goes on. I knew that was a tough lobby to do well in, but I was there. Wings, did you spawn in?
I broke my controller.
Here's what he said.
Broke your controller?
That's Wings for you.
Oh, Wings, I
Oh, don't suck.
I even used to tell Patrick Patties over on Twitter as well.
Yeah, we've all been there, man.
Fuck you.
Me?
Why the fuck you stream that shit?
Yep. And here's, that's how much of a baby he is, basically.
It was your idea.
It should be noted that right after the live stream had ended, Wings would threaten Syndicate's life. This was for some their turning point for Wings of redemption. Some people even going as far as to re-upload the entire match, and others highlighting specific sections, such as Wings breaking his controller. This would become one of the most memorable moments in the Call of Duty community. That same day, he would upload a video trying to defend his actions, which only brought more attention to the match. His following videos would get mass disliked, where the dislikes well outnumber the likes, and a good portion of the comments would be a reference to the match. Even the few live streams that he did on Justin TV would be clipped and recorded, as he would have outbursts of rage, not unlike what happened during the match with Syndicate. There would also be an attempt of a rematch where someone had offered $5,000 to the victor. Wings would then contact Syndicate, asking him to take a dive for a share of the money, but Syndicate would decline the match, and this conversation will later be leaked by Syndicate. Jordie, I got a deal with you. I got Alki David willing to put up 5,000 USD. Syndicate, ... Jordie, you get 3,000, I get 2,500, but I have to come out on top. 2,000. Sounds like a good deal, or want no part of it. Syndicate, no, not at all. I'm not taking...
What is a woman? Can you tell me that? Oh, you're
Yeah. Yeah. This is how egotistical he is. This is how much of a piece of shit he is.
Taking part of that. Jordie, it's free money. Syndicate, I'd rather earn my money. Jordie, well, I need this kind of money. I don't make $2,500 a day. Syndicate, it's regardless of the money. You want to come out on top in the situation. You just made it 10 times worse. Jordie, I got a family to feed, so money is a big deal to me. You said you wanted to bury the hatchet. What better way? We both make money, and I beat you like 1 kill in game 5. It's $1,000 to lose a game you're not expected to win. I'd figured I'd offer it. Syndicate, no Wings. You blew up big style. Syndicate has left. Though still, over the course of 2 months, the fallout of the match would gradually slow down, where things would almost revert to how they were before, and things for Wings were still going fairly well. He was earning over $10,000 a month from his machinima contract, and used a large portion of that to provide for his girlfriend and her children. That was until they broke up on March 8th of 2012, where we would later find out he had spent an estimated $80,000 to support them, as over the course of the relationship, he would purchase an SUV for her to drive, pay rent, utilities, pay for her daughter's dance lessons, and various other amenities. But 5 months after this, he would begin seeing Brandy, a woman he had met again on Plenty of Fish, though he would be more cautious about spending...
Now, if you want to go on an online dating app and find a date, now we have Tinder.
money on her because his channel began to stagnate at 400,000 subscribers, and as he began getting lower view counts, consequently, his paychecks would also get smaller. He would begin looking for a new form of content, and what he ended up deciding was long-form content, where instead of uploading several low-effort videos a day, he would take his time editing long-form high-quality videos. And the trial run for this was his 100 million total views celebration video. It would take him 3 days of editing to put this together. But due to its poor editing and failure to portray a clear narrative, it would well underperform and would get the same amount of views as any other video.
Now, editing is pretty tough. Yeah, I edit. Now on Twitter, I have a plan for whenever I get a YouTube copyright strike. I'm not going into detail any of it. I wrote it in a tweet longer. You can come check it out on Twitter. Obviously, yeah. Anyway, let's get on.
He would then go on to Twitter, where he would tweet about ending his life and how difficult being him was. Many content creators would chime in on this, the most memorable being El Presador, who would call out Wings for falsely threatening to commit suicide, something that Wings had done many times before. Wings would respond by tweeting, quote, "I've got a lot of guns, El Presador, and if I decide to kill myself, I'm taking you with me." Unquote. Keemstar would then uncover this and bring Wings of Redemption and several other commentators onto his podcast, where it would turn into a sort of intervention for Wings.
Wings, it's kind of been you versus the world tonight.
No, it's always me versus the world, dude. It's been like that for the last 3 years of my career. I'm pretty much, Scarface of the YouTube community. I'm the bad guy. I'm the camper. I'm everything that personifies everything bad.
Say that, Wings. You were the Scarface of the YouTube community.
Wings, why do you? Okay, listen, Wings. sometimes we as human beings, we just have to look down when things are tough and look at what we have. I know I'm sounding like a Hallmark card.
What do I have, Keemstar? I have a night full of drama. I have El Presto trying to get big off me by threatening to put the FBI on me. I have one of the biggest channels in the gaming on YouTube trying to shut me down while I'm having one of the worst months of my life. What do I have?
Wings, think about what you just said. You said that you have El Presador trying to get big off of you. Now, do you really believe that? Do you really believe that?
El Presador is a leech.
No. But what I'm saying is, if El Presador is really just trying to get big off you, that is an awesome thing. That's a compliment.
It's not an awesome thing. It hits you all at once, dude. Have you ever? Well, you.
Keemstar the man. Keemstar really the man. Greek supremacy. Anyone know any Greek Americans? Don't name any name. I don't want you to name any names because, obviously, because of privacy reasons, safety reasons. But anyway, yeah, Greek Americans. I know a lot of Greek Canadians, but not a lot of Greek Americans. So Keem is the boss.
You probably have.
You gotta look at it glass half full, glass half empty. You have so much, and people in this community, look up to you. All right, they do. They do. People in the community actually look up to Wings. Wings has been around for forever, and as much as people battle with you, people do respect you, and admire you. Look at how many people tune into PKA. No offense to Woody, but if you were out of it, it'd be probably like half the people there. You know what I mean? You got to think about what you have. You put up life advice videos, and people actually listen. They take your advice. Sometimes you just have to look at your life, look at what you have. I've had so many different hats that I put on. Where you, Wings, you've kind of just been the same guy for like 5 years. You know what I mean? Maybe it's time to reinvent yourself. And the reason why I say this.
Don't change, but reinvent yourself.
Yeah, because you uploaded the video and you were like, I don't know what to do with my channel anymore. Like if I get into drama,
so
I get views. But if I just upload a gameplay, I only get 10,000.
Yep.
So maybe there needs to be a Wings talk show. Maybe there needs to be a Wings in real life thing. Maybe there needs to be something different, like reinvent yourself,
After this podcast, Wings would not take the advice of his colleagues and continue to upload the same style of content with a slight increase of his vlog videos. But his decreasing viewer count wouldn't be the only problem, as come January 2013, Machinima would abruptly drop him from the network, and instead of partnering directly with YouTube because he feared the lack of support that such a massive company would have, he instead opted with partnering with Full Screen Entertainment at a much lower pay than Machinima offered.
Well, Full Screen, Machinima, they bought by Full Screen's old parent company, Otter Media. It was owned by Warner Media, now Warner Bros. Discovery. Back then, it was owned by AT&T. Yeah, remember Machinima?
And possibly due to his lack of motivation, his video uploads would slow down. Instead of uploading 3 videos a day, he would now upload 1, or on occasion, 1 every 3 days, which would cause his monthly views to dip from an average of 3 million in 2012 to 1.5 million in June. It was this month that Brandon would break up with him, prompting the creation of this now deleted video.
Yeah, so.
I can't afford to go get another girlfriend because I can't afford to take people out right now because I'm pretty much making no money every month's the red.
It's pretty sad.
This is why.
This is just a
this is why I bitch on Twitter all the time. This is why people see me as a sad person.
And what he's wearing, the fat suit, and yeah.
I just feel so alone.
Sweeper's heavy-duty cloths easily trap dust, dirt, and hair, locking it in.
I can't. My toes.
Turns out, it is hard walking a mile in someone else's shoes.
He would then create the one of many videos talking about how he wants to quit YouTube and go back to school, and how he doesn't like making videos for YouTube nor playing Call of Duty, and the only reason he does it is for money. With his podcast co-host seeing this, they would continue to try to find ways to rejuvenate his channel, which then prompted the proposition for the FPS Bootcamp. FPS Kyle invites Wings over to his house and offers to be his personal trainer for 30 days, with the end goal being to lose 50 pounds and create a mini-series of videos all recorded and edited by Kyle to be uploaded to Wings of Redemption, where to Kyle's surprise, Wings would agree to do it. And to fund it, they set up an Indiegogo fund that would end up raising upwards of $9,000. This would be spent on remodeling Kyle's bathroom to accommodate Wings, the meals and equipment that was to be used, and the remaining amount to hire a personal trainer for post-bootcamp workouts. And after the date was set and the bathroom was remodeled, Wings would arrive to Kyle's residence on October 28, 2013 and would be placed on a 1,000 calorie a day diet. The workouts would begin the following day and consist of random activities that were meant to keep his heart rate up. And within the first 2 weeks of this, he had lost 25 pounds, though he would feel that he hit a plateau and want to quit.
Just simple, just put the dude on Sono. Get the dude a liposuction. That's how you can. Again, this is all a shtick, y'all.
So that week on PKA, after discussing this will become a kind of intervention where the host would cite the newfound support of his fans and how his channel had seen a tremendous growth with the bootcamp videos he's been uploading.
We've got all these people here trying to help you, Wings. We're smashing our heads.
We're working on hour 2 of you telling me the same thing.
Well, when are you going to
know, it's sad.
your dumbass skull that we are trying to help you? There are tens of thousands of people out there that are rooting for you, and all you can do is sit there and say, can't be bothered.
So he would continue onward and lose another 20 pounds, where he would then leave to attend Thanksgiving with his family. He would then begin taking walks to maintain his weight, and once all the Indiegogo money had gone through, he would then hire Drew, a personal trainer that would help him with lifestyle changes and would somewhat befriend him. But this would not last so long. Now in 2014, Drew had been hired by a local gym where he had grandfathered in his clients, but shortly after, he would be fired from the gym for breaking gym protocol by sleeping with one of his clients, leaving Wings without a personal trainer as Drew was trying to figure out what direction to take. And meanwhile on PKA, while talking about survival shows such as Man vs. Wild and Survivor Man, the idea of a 5-day wilderness survival trip will come to fruition, with the attending members being Wings, Woody, Kyle, and another member of the podcast known as Lefty. But Lefty would be quick to back out before the plans were set in stone, leading to Wings insulting him and essentially calling him a coward. And on March 28th, while talking on PKA, they had set the Uwharrie Wilderness in North Carolina as the location, and set the date from April 14th to the 18th. Though through this conversation, our reluctant Wings would attempt to seemingly find any excuse to cancel the trip, but with the encouragement of Woody and Kyle, he had agreed to the date of the trip.
My birthday's April 21st, and I am not going any time before that.
Wait, why? I've never heard of anyone celebrating a birth month before.
Yeah.
Whoever heard of a birth month?
Women.
My birthday is May 9th. First off, I still need to practice. I don't have all my stuff. My boots are in the mail. I don't even have pants.
Look, we're talking about doing this in 17 days, 18 days from now. That's what we just talked about.
Amazon Prime.
And you're like, my boots are still in the mail, man. I've got to get those.
I was always under the impression it was going to be beginning of May.
Dude, let's do this. Let's do this. April 14th, don't say no. Don't puss out. Don't be a sissy. Don't be a loser. Be a winner. Make a thing happen.
Why are you against May?
You want to live an extraordinary, because May is the distant future. You want to live an extraordinary life, you want to do extraordinary things, then you find out how to make them go. I watched the Painkiller Already subreddit, and they're like, man, a lot of these guys would really like to do this. Man, I would like to do this thing. There's a reason not a lot of people do this, and it's because they're wired to figure out reasons why they can't do it, why they shouldn't do it.
I'm not backing out. I'm the last person who's going to back out.
Oh, yeah.
Each of the attendants would begin making videos to hype up the survival trip and bring more exposure to it. They would present the gear they were going to bring and explain its uses, as well as showcasing the talents and techniques they had picked up in preparation for the trip. But when it came to Wings, he had purchased very little compared to the other two, and preparation videos had very little in terms of information or how he had been preparing for the trip. And as April 13th rolled over, both Woody and Kyle would begin driving to a town located near the wilderness area, and while on the road, Kyle would call Wings to check if he had arrived. Where in Kyle's surprise, Wings would state he was not going. He then calls Woody to try to convince Wings, but with no luck, as Wings had come to the conclusion that he was not going to attend 2 days before, but had failed to inform anyone.
Alright, so I don't know, we were about 40 miles in earlier, now we are like 162 miles into this trip, and
That's Wings.
I texted Wings of Redemption, and I said, I'm not gonna, pretty much verbatim, I said, hey buddy, are we still on for tomorrow? Because
as you could have heard, as you could have known, Kyle, he was SPS Russia. He was Dmitry in that spin-off of Your Mama, the series called In Soviet Russia. It was based off old jokes during the Cold War. Sorry about that.
Keep in mind, it's 11 p.m. right now. We're supposed to meet at the bait shop at 8:30 a.m. So, 9 hours from right now. And I also include, and also, do you have everything you need? Because I've got extras of a lot of things. And his response was basically, I'm not coming.
He will then go on to upload 2 videos addressing why he did not go, with his excuses being that due to his weight, he would drag the party down, and the trip itself was dangerous as all members had very little wilderness survival experience, with the second video being titled, Why Do You Never...
Did you know that, Woody and Kyle? Well, they're androids that, Jordie Syndicate created to again, get empathy, and all that and also Syndicate, no pun intended, himself as well.
Never apologize, where he explains just that. Both videos would have their dislike bar disabled and would be bombarded with comments rebutting his argument and excuses. As for Kyle and Woody, they would only spend 1 day in the wilderness before Kyle became violently ill, possibly through the intake of lake water. So they would return home 1 day after arrival, where then the existing members of the podcast would vote to kick Wings off due to his lack of...
Again, this is all set up so he can take... He wants to brainwash you and all that, yeah.
commitment. And yet again, Wings would be condemned for his actions, with many viewers unsubscribing from his channel and leaving a sizable amount of dislikes on his future videos. He would then, almost exactly 1 month later, begin Walking 365, a video series where in an attempt to maintain his weight, would walk 4 miles daily while recording it. He would progressively win over his viewer base as he seemed committed to this venture. That was, until day 79, where he had a moment of weakness and had gained 6 pounds over the course of a week. But not all was bad, as 8 days later, Drew had contacted him and offered to train him for free, which he would gladly accept. And he would take him on not so much as a personal trainer, but sort of a friend and a lifestyle coach. Now 2015, along with his traditional content, he will begin to upload videos of him working out with Drew, and seeing how Jordie interacted with her friend instead of a random person online did shine a different light on him and brought the best of his personality out. As for the community interaction, his viewers almost unanimously adored Drew, since he had a good impact on Jordie's life and they had a great chemistry together. He would also rarely post on YouTube as he was beginning to transition to Twitch, and through his streams, we learned that he was still struggling both mentally and physically.
So let's see, Wings. His highs are nice and high, right? He's working with Drew. He's enjoying weightlifting, which is a cool thing. He hasn't really enjoyed any workout prior to that. I guess that's it. Those are his highs. On the on the downside, his financial situation continues to head worse, right? Like, and he stopped working basically. So his job, of course, is to make YouTube videos. And what has he made? Like maybe 3 in the last month?
Yep.
Yeah, he's living off his savings.
So he's gaining weight, he's losing money, and he was on a Twitch stream. So as we say this is maybe like 5 days ago, I'm guessing. He said his plan was still to keep doing what he's doing until he runs out of money and then not murder himself. Suicide, that's what I'm looking for. And then he was going to kill himself.
A few months after this, we will learn he stopped his workout sessions with Drew, and due to all his failings, he will not begin 2016 strong.
Sign up as an Expedia member and see more of the world's lemons. The Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar for an effortless shave in one efficient stroke.
Where he would once average 50,000 views a video, he was now getting 1/10 of that. He would also be back up to 450 pounds, the same weight he was prior to the FPS bootcamp. We would also see the small buildup of trolls around his channel starting this year, kicking it off with this semi-viral clip.
I had 600, or I had almost 700 on the COD remaster, man. Like, I hate Call of Duty. I fucking hate it. It fucking ruined my life. I hate everything about it.
This is all a stick, y'all.
Over the course of a year, more of these would surface. Twitch was now his primary source of income, where he was earning an estimated $5,000 a month. And with this money, he would announce that he would begin to save up for a weight loss surgery in Mexico. And depending on which surgery he would pick, the trip, the hotel, and the recovery process would cost him an estimated $8,000, which was his earning goal. And because he was streaming more often to make money for the surgery, the amount of clips of Wings losing his temper would grow exponentially, with the first large rage compilation being released on August of 2017 by user 6Ms. This would bring a lot more attention to Wings, and in turn, more viewers for his streams that came from other communities such as those of Chris Chan and Darkside Phil, where the outrageousness of their personalities would become a sort of spectacle, and for the most...
I don't remember Chris Chan. Chris Chan. Remember him? Yeah, Chris Chan, Darkside Phil...
made them an easy target to troll for a reaction. And so they did, by doing what Wings hated the most. And that was joining his session and team killing, which on November 15th would produce this clip that would again go viral and would give his streams mass attention.
I don't know when I'll stream again. I really need to make this fucking money. I really wanted to get this fucking surgery, man. I wanted it so fucking bad. I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
Oh, damn.
All I wanted to do was, like, I was fucking lonely. I wanted to just stream and have a good time, man. Have a good game.
A day later would be the birth of Sean Ranklin, the most successful highlight channel, or as Wings likes to call them, troll channel. And with his first video, and over the course of a couple months, he would have accumulated over 1.3 million views, far surpassing even Wings' top viewed video. This birthed many memes from his livestream, or rather triggers, such as Real Talk.
Okay,
Any question about my personal life, ban them. No, I don't got any friends, dude. No person deserves this kind of ridicule. Like, I hate my fucking life at this point. My grandma's dying. I spend my entire life sitting in this room. I had $1,400 worth of chargebacks come out, and all you do is get picked on and criticized. That's my life. Most of you guys would crack under the stress that these people put me through. I just want to escape the bullying. I do. People make fun of me and pick at me. I'm pretty much defeated in every aspect of my life. You know, I have no self-esteem to begin with, and I feel like nobody loves me, but guess what? It's okay. He's an easy target.
If you haven't heard of his name before, I guarantee you're definitely not going to forget it from this point onwards.
I detest this game. And I hate you too. Come on! Honestly, can you stop, Pedro? And everybody that says I got on. I'm done. I'm sorry, I'm done with the stream.
Jordie Jordan, aka Wings of Redemption, was born on the 21st of April 1986 into what you might call unfortunate circumstances. His birth had been the result of a teenage pregnancy, and due to the young age of his parents, Jordie would be raised with the help of his grandparents in their trailer park home. At the age of 2, his father, an alcoholic, would abandon the family entirely, giving us a pretty clear idea of the unfortunate means by which Wings of Redemption had been brought into the world. However, while the circumstances were far from desirable, as Jordie Jordan entered school, he would begin to excel in sports, claiming to be one of the most athletic people in his class. That would be until a physically gifted foreign exchange student joined his year, placing Jordie in second place for most school sporting events. In order to counteract this, Jordie explained that he began to eat more during dinner time under the assumption that it would help him grow faster, hopefully giving him a physical advantage over his opponents. However, this would cause Jordie to begin gaining excessive weight, ultimately leading to a sporting underperformance and isolation into the fantasy world of video games. In the process of this, his family, including his brother and single mum, would move from his grandparents' trailer park home into low-income government housing, where Jordie Jordan would continue to gain weight while further isolating himself from society. By the age of 14, he had reached approximately 240 pounds or 110 kilograms, also being diagnosed with bipolar and social anxiety disorder, adding to the isolation even further. To counteract this, Jordie Jordan would begin to take on various low-skilled jobs in order to get out of the house more often, as well as earn himself a little bit of income. In his late teens, he would take on various positions such as working at a video rental store, a supermarket as a 911 operator, and even as a Domino's pizza delivery driver. However, he found many of these to be boring and unstimulating, often leading him to quit within only 2 weeks of starting. However, at the age of 18, Jordie Jordan would finally get into a position which he was able to hold for some period of time, specifically a job working for a company by the name of Metglass.
What I did at Metglass is I was an overhead crane operator for blast furnaces that basically poured liquid metal and things out, kind of like Terminator 2.
While working at Metglass in 2007, Jordie and another friend by the name of Z7 Taylor would play Call of Duty in the evenings, also starting to regularly watch sniper montages over on YouTube. In the process, Jordie thought about making his own videos, however, given his busy work schedule, would dismiss the idea as he had minimal time for doing so. However, in 2008, an event would occur that presented itself as a negative in the beginning, however would turn out to be a huge turning point in his life, the global financial crisis. Jordie explained that since he was one of the more expensive employees at Metglass, he was one of the first to lose their job as business profits began to tumble.
They started laying people off, and one of the people that got laid off was me because I was one of the newer employees, and I was also getting paid more than most of the employees on the flag factory floor.
He would then be put on government unemployment payments, which in combination with his previous employment history seemed to dampen Jordie Jordan's confidence in relation to his ability to hold down a job working for someone else.
If you think I could hold a job down, you're kidding yourself. The reason I don't get a job is I can't hold one down.
However, there was one advantage to come out of this whole situation. Suddenly, Jordie Jordan had all the time in the world. His friend Z7 Taylor had started making his own Call of Duty videos, and noticing the success of them
because I seen Taylor and his channel, and I love reading the comments, so I'm like, man.
He would order a HD PVR capture card and begin to record his own high-definition Call of Duty videos in his newly found free time. Jordie Jordan would then register a YouTube channel under the name Wings of Redemption, taking the name from an inscription on King Tut's tomb which stated, "Death shall come quick on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king." But while making a brand new channel was extremely exciting for Wings of Redemption, he wouldn't even make it past his first video before embroiling himself in some level of controversy. In his very first video, Wings felt the need to stick up for a Call of Duty strategy known as camping, where the player would stay in one location for a prolonged period of time and wait for players to come to him instead of the other way around.
Some people think I'm a camper, which I am a camper.
The strategy was common but often frowned upon by players who were more aggressive, and as a result, his comment section would fill up by many who opposed his playstyle. However, on the opposite end of the spectrum, people also respected Wings for his honesty and his unapologetic nature towards the strategies that he preferred, and as a result, he began to build an audience. Given the almost non-existent competition on YouTube at the time, Wings would quickly become one of the fastest growing creators on the platform, and with such he began to gain the attention of other large Call of Duty YouTubers, specifically one by the name of Woody's Gamertag.
Hi, this is Woody, the unexceptional gamer, and I make Call of Duty videos designed to help my unexceptional brethren do better in the game.
Woody's Gamertag had begun YouTube at around the same time as Wings, and in order for them to share their audience with one another, they would begin to post dual commentary videos.
Hey guys, it's Woody, the unexceptional gamer, and I'm doing a dual com with Wings of Redemption today.
Also starting a podcast together by the name of Painkiller Already, or PKA for short.
Hello guys, this is Painkiller Already, and I'm your host, Jordie Jordan, aka known as Wings of Redemption, for anybody else who can't put two and two together.
In this podcast, Wings would continue with his strong opinions and unapologetic attitude on topics relating to Call of Duty. However, with such, would also begin to gain a reputation as a guy who would constantly respond to those who shared differing opinions. While Wings' goal was to subdue the negative feedback by responding to it, it instead seemed to amplify it, as his audience noticed that the best way to get attention from Wings was to simply leave a negative comment, which Wings often struggled to ignore. In addition to this, Wings would begin to show his face placed more regularly in his videos, prompting negative comments in relation to his weight. However, despite clearly being on the heavier side, his subscriber count was mediated by his gameplay rather than his physical appearance, and by August 2011, Wings of Redemption had peaked as the 281st most subscribed channel on all of YouTube, with a little over 300,000 subscribers, and for all intents and purposes, Wings of Redemption's YouTube channel seemed to be chugging along just fine. That would be until the 67th episode of the Painkiller Already podcast, where the tragedy of Wings of Redemption would really set into motion after one of, if not the most notorious Call of Duty events in YouTube history. To spice things up on this episode of the podcast, Woody and Wings would invite another streamer and YouTuber on by the name of Syndicate, who Woody described to be
the best Call of Duty Zombies player on the planet.
Possibly feeling subconsciously threatened by Syndicate's channel and Call of Duty skill, Wings was, quote, wildly disrespectful to Syndicate throughout the stream.
I could put up a fight against, in like COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, World of War, but then throw me in against Black Ops.
You would get destroyed in World of War. I have never lost.
In addition to this, Wings would go ahead and state that
he says that he'd be much better at zombies on his first game. He doesn't even play zombies, but if he were to, he'd be much better than the best player on the planet.
In order to settle the dispute, Wings and Syndicate would agree to 1v1 each other in multiplayer.
What, you want to go M16s on Bog right now?
That could go.
Yeah,
I'd do it for the fun of it. I'd go for it.
Let's do it.
So what map are we playing?
With game rules that favored Wings as opposed to Syndicate.
He lays it all out there, so it's to his advantage.
Just to top it all off, the match was hosted on USA servers, favoring Wings and giving Syndicate a massive disadvantage due to lag as he was located in the UK. There was no way that Wings could possibly lose this match, as the odds were completely stacked in his favor, or so he thought. The winner would be the first player to reach 30 kills, or whoever had the most kills at the 10-minute mark. After 9 minutes of intense back and forth, Syndicate had 13 kills, while Wings only had 9 with less than a minute remaining. Realizing that there was no way he could
Infallible Freshwear by L'Oreal Paris. Buildable coverage that looks fresh hour after hour.
CoverGirl's new Exhibitionist liner and mascara is the best duo. Seriously, look how easy this eyeliner glides on. If you have weak lashes, the Stretch and Strengthen mascara is perfect. This is only one coat on top and bottom lashes, and then I just added one more coat to the top. And with affordable
could catch up, Wings would announce that
I probably won't be on Painkiller Already again.
Which was followed by events that I think are best experienced by simply watching the real footage.
Wings, did you spawn in?
I broke my controller.
You broke your controller?
Yeah, keep laughing, you. Why the you stream that shit?
It was your idea.
No, I didn't say stream it.
In front of 7,000 live viewers, after hours of trash talk, Wings was humiliated with 9 kills as opposed to Syndicate's 14. Jordie's reaction led his audience to realize one simple thing. Wings of Redemption was not this famous Call of Duty hero who took a romantic risk by starting YouTube. No, he was an immature man-child who happened to catch the Call of Duty YouTube wave while living on unemployment. The difference between his online persona and true personality had finally shone through, and in case Wings' reputation hadn't deteriorated enough already, this was really only the beginning. Syndicate will post a screenshot to his Twitter the following day, displaying a conversation in which Wings had requested that they play again in a fixed match, where Syndicate would let Wings win with the goal of restoring Jordie's reputation. The screenshot would end with Syndicate stating, "You want to come out on top of this situation, you just made it 10 times worse," as well as, "No way, Wings, you just blew it big time." Wings' videos would then begin to fill with comments regarding his childish reaction to the loss. However, rather than rectifying it by stating that Syndicate won fair and square, Wings would paint himself as the victim of the situation, stating that the reason he didn't win the match was because Woody hadn't set the rules correctly. In addition to this, he would upload videos talking about the many problems that he'd been dealing with, uploaded with the assumed goal of garnering sympathy from his viewer base.
There's been so much stress with sub box breaking, the view count thing, the losing the 1v1, all the haters, all the loss of subs. I've actually gained 20 pounds because all I've been doing is worrying and eating, worrying and eating.
The problem was that attempting to garner sympathy ended up having the opposite effect on his reputation, as the approval seeking did nothing but display his overwhelming lack of confidence. This lack of personal confidence also began to manifest itself in videos where Wings would talk about his weight, stating that he had gained approximately 100 pounds from comfort eating since his reputation began to decline. In order to combat this, Wings would move in with a newer member of the PKA podcast, Kyle, where Kyle would act as his personal trainer, giving him an exercise routine and cooking him healthy food for every single meal. Kyle had even spent $5,000 to rebuild his shower.
And if he was going to live with me, we would have to put in a new shower. So construction began the next day.
on a $5,000 shower.
Stating that it would have been too small for Wings to fit in. However, despite Kyle putting in an incredible effort to help Wings, after only a week, Wings had requested to leave. Kyle convinced him to stay for another 3 weeks, leaving after having lost an impressive 40 pounds. Upon returning home, Jordie would hire a personal trainer. However, problematically, given his lack of discipline and the return to his old environment, Wings would gain the weight back in the few weeks following his return home. Despite having left Kyle's house, this wouldn't be the last time that they hung out. Approximately 5 months later, the 3 main members of the PKA podcast, being Woody, Kyle and Wings, agreed to go on a survival-style camping trip in the woods together. Kyle travelled 3 hours from his house to the location at which they agreed to meet, which was followed by a call to Wings checking to see how far away he was. This would be the point at which Woody and Kyle's continually compassionate attitude towards Wings would finally dissipate.
I'm driving in the night before. Let me give old Wings a call, make sure we're all good to go here, you know. Call him up, say, hey man, you ready to do this thing? I'm driving in now, about 3 hours from the place. What are you up to? He's like, I'm not going. What? What do you mean? I'm not coming. When were you going to tell me? I'm telling you right now.
Wings had left Kyle and Woody to camp by themselves, resulting in Wings alienating his final 2 YouTube friends and ultimately being kicked off the PKA podcast.
Yeah, so we've decided, it was a group decision, we decided that Wings of Redemption wasn't going to continue with us on the show for at least the foreseeable future. He's got a lot of stuff that he needs to work out before he's, you know, up to par with what we need from him. You know, he's having a hard time, and he's made some decisions that we didn't feel were so friendly. So for the time being, we're gonna continue without him.
It would then become apparent that Wings was questioning whether or not he wanted to continue as a YouTuber, stating that he would like to quit YouTube. However, the status it provided made such a decision extremely difficult.
I know what I need to do. What I need to do is quit YouTube and move on with my life. But at the same time, this is the high point so far in my life. It's hard to walk away from having access to 50,000 people, basically being able to get advice at any time of the day, any day of the week. Hard to walk away from, you know, being somebody of importance to going back into a world where you're nobody.
However, perhaps the end of Jordie's YouTube channel was out of his control, because by this point, his subscriber count had already begun to decline. The release of Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, as well as the increasing simplicity of creating video content meant that Wings had substantially more competition for the videos that he was creating. With a dying channel and absolutely no one else to turn to, Wings would begin to upload variety videos on games such as Fallout and Final Fantasy in a desperate attempt to slow the death of his channel.
Welcome everybody. Welcome to my Fallout 4 playthrough.
He would also attempt to recapture his old fame by covering Call of Duty drama and starting a new podcast called The Podcast Show with other washed up Call of Duty streamers like Whiteboy 7th Street. However, these would also fail to slow the death of his channel. In addition to all of this, Wings would break up with a girl he had been dating at the time by the name of Brandy, which depressed him even further, dropping his motivation to lower and lower levels. From this, Wings of Redemption would move over to Twitch, stating that it required less editing, and through donations and subscriptions, he was able to make more money than he ever could while on YouTube. And while this was a positive, in a strange backwards kind of way, this extra income would come to him alongside an equivalent amount of emotional stress and further unexpected problems. The lack of editing and live nature of the streams meant that Wings' personality was on full display, warts and all. This meant that if something annoyed him within the game, there was no way to simply cut it out as he had on YouTube, and anyone watching was able to record whatever reaction Wings happened to have. Wings would break controllers, complain extensively,
Headache, I'm hot, my sugar's low, somebody drank all my Pepsis,
as well as constantly rage. As a result, channels began to pop up such as Sean Ranklin, X-Bottle and Gulag Kingpin, all of which devoted to uploading Wings of Redemption's worst moments. This created a meme community around trolling Wings, where viewers would often recreate his most common actions, such as banning subscribers from the chat, drinking Pepsi and eating Wendy's chili, done for the sole purpose of getting videos for these specific troll channels.
Because if I talk about anything, or everything, there's a video made about it and there's 20,000 people laughing at me, or there's a podcast with 100,000 viewers.
All of this would lead up to an apex in a stream on one unassuming night in late 2017, at which point Wings would do something which many consider to be the most iconic moment in the history of Wings of Redemption.
You don't so much as wiggle a finger.
June 24th.
Infallible Freshware by L'Oreal Paris. Buildable coverage that looks fresh hour after hour.
The live stream started like any other. However, as with many of his streams, it wouldn't be long before half the lobby was there purely to stream snipe and annoy Jordie Jordan.
God damn it, dude.
As the night progressed, the stream sniping only got worse. Then, in order to combat the stream snipers, his viewers suggested that he appear offline, to which Jordie responded with,
Look here! Look, listen! Appearing offline does not stop it, so stop giving advice you know nothing about.
possibly paving the way for the breakdown which he was about to have. The stream sniping continued, and feeling helpless to the circumstances he had found himself in, Wings of Redemption would respond with the following.
Oh my god.
I don't know what I'll stream again.
This is how he acts.
I really need to make this fucking money. I really wanted to get this surgery, man. I wanted it so bad. I just can't do it. I can't take this no more, man. All I wanted to do was, like, I was lonely. I wanted to just stream and have a good time, have a good game.
Sorry, buddy.
My life.
That's part of being a public figure, especially when you're...
The clip has gained 2.6 million views to this day, and just like his last rage, the clip would go on to continually haunt him. However, unlike his last rage, where he would have to simply deal with comments, this time around, his trolls would go to much more effort, joining his games in order to play the content through the speaker.
Look here! Look, listen! Appearing offline does not stop it, so stop giving...
Alright, your boy, did you invite him?
While giving more fuel to the growing number of troll channels. One of these channels goes by the name of Liquid Richard, who has today uploaded 4 full-length professionally produced albums, all of which being made from the stupid things that Wings has said over the years, which is especially hilarious as the music is unironically extremely well made and entertaining. From the point of his notorious COD World War II rage, the Wings of Redemption cycle continued over and over again. He would do something stupid, attempt to prove that he was in the right, resulting in even more trolls. Or he would attempt to improve his life in some way or another, fail miserably, and be publicly ridiculed by his detractors. He would get weight loss surgery in Mexico, apparently lose 100 pounds, never prove it, and still look the exact same 2 years later. He would continue to ban trolls from the chat, giving them the exact attention they desired, ensuring that they rejoin at a later date on a second account.
Exotic's been banned 9 times. Him giving his free Twitch Prime to me is not going to stop him from being banned at this point.
It was as if, in every situation, it was impossible for Wings of Redemption to choose a response that wouldn't end in complete and utter catastrophe. Seemingly consistent with the overwhelming misfortune in Jordie Jordan's life, only 2 months ago, on the 26th of July 2021, his Twitch partnership would be revoked for breaking Exhibit D of the content guidelines, as explained on a Wings of Redemption YouTube livestream titled Twitch Fallout.
Twitch took my partnership away today for Exhibit D.
Jordie then stated that he may leave the internet and get a real job.
Everybody in the chat's telling me to get a job, and, you know, that's a possibility.
However, if his past has taught us anything, the chance of that actually happening is unbelievably low. Wings continues to stream on YouTube, however the dislike ratio and a short look at the chat gives us a pretty good idea of how many people are there for no other reason but to continue to troll him. I was watching a video created by one of my favourite YouTubers the other day, Xerbia, who included a line in his video Thoughts from Your Deathbed, which I think runs incredibly true to the tragic tale of Wings of Redemption. The hard road was easy, while the easy road was hard. Wings of Redemption has spent his entire life attempting to walk the easy road, avoiding anything that would result in short-term adversity. However, through seeking comfort, he's ironically transformed his life into a complete and utter tragedy. It's as if you can't really avoid the tragedy of life, but the choice we get is whether or not we want to experience the tragedy now by our own voluntary admission, or whether we ignore what we need to do and have the tragedy happen to us later down the road, as is what happened in the case of Wings of Redemption.
Yep. And this is the this is the setup to put you. He wants to put you on in a false sense of security, so he can because he wants to take over the world basically. Yeah. Anyway, that's all you need to know about Jordie. I'm ending the briefing now. Have a good one, everybody. Take care, y'all.